What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Do I look exhausted? Because I'm freaking exhausted. Alright, so as I mentioned in previous videos, I've been working on this mix for this song. There's been videos of us tracking it. The song's called Now's Not the Time. You know, in my studio, I'm in the process of sort of expanding this studio. And I made a commitment last year to really grow this into a place where I can make full production records. And I am in the middle of some growing pains. I'm in the middle of some learning curves. And it's a humbling experience, man. I mean, do y'all go through this process when you get into a set of songs that you're working on? You've painstakingly tracked all the instrumentation. Maybe you sent out for drums. Maybe you got a drum room and you track the drums. And you finally get it to a point you're like, all right, all the pieces are here. It's time to, break this stuff down to the bare bones, get a good mix, find the balance, get everything bone dry, listen to it. You want to do everything right. You want to make sure you're hearing everything as it really is. Take all your plugins off, mute all the sends, just get dry tracks. And then you get that mix dialed in, and then you go back and you get on your buses or your sends, however you're routing all of your instrument groups together. Start putting some processing on there, some EQ, some compression, some spatial kind of stuff. Trying to take this dry song and make it come to life, blossom like a flower. That's the whole idea, right? And in theory, you just go through it, you just do the steps, and you get the drums, and they're there, and you're there. And then you put some processing on your mix bus, and you just get it there's not even that much to it. Dude, I'm like 35 mixes in, probably. Stop counting. Started renumbering like everything mix 15 because I'm embarrassed if I send it to somebody, they're going to see like mix 27? Really? I am humbled. I am even more committed to my mixing journey. But man, I am sick and tired of working on this song. I'm curious of what you guys go through. How do you keep perspective on things when you're working on your mixes and you bounce it down and you're like, oh, I need a nudge here. That's not supposed to be sitting there. You want to move it here. You want to blossom it out. You want to do all those things. And before you know it, it's like you're 30 hours into this thing. And you've done all this stuff and now you can't hear the drums. And you bring the drums up and now you can't hear the guitars and the whole thing. I would say, as somebody who has dedicated the majority of their life to making music, to studying the history of music and popular music of all genres, the unsung hero in the music history books are the great mix engineers. And I don't know about you guys, but when I was coming up, I was always interested in who produced the records. And in my mind, the mix engineer was just somebody that was there. It was like an assistant engineer who was doing it. And then you kind of start working in the studio. You start tracking. Maybe you've been lucky enough to, work in a legit commercial space. And you've seen a producer, and you've got, head engineer, assistant engineer. But then if you've made records, you might realize that, you're like, oh, the producer, he may be great at getting the best performance out of the artist, but he may not have any game when it comes to creating that world that song needs to live in. And that's where I'm trying to get. But man, it's a humbling experience for all of you incredible mix engineers out there. I've got mad love for you, and I tip my hat to you. All the respect in the world. We're gonna get there. This song that I'm working on, that I'm gonna give you guys a little taste of, I have sent this to a friend of mine who has a resume I would dream to have, of all the incredible records that he's been a part of as an engineer on them, but also the records that he has tracked and mixed. I've asked him for some feedback. I asked him not to go easy on me. I asked him what he would charge if he liked the song to mix it. And I am going to do my level best to make the trip over to Atlanta, where he's at, and sit down with him and pick his brain. One, ask for feedback, and really get an education from somebody who's been doing it on of course, the instinctive things that he hears that are like the no-brainer things that probably poke out to him in every mix that he gets sent to remix. But I really want to drill down on what his philosophies are. What is he looking for? What is he listening for when somebody sends him a rough mix of something and he zeroes it out? What is this process? How does he make the magic? I want to share that with you guys, and I certainly want to get that knowledge myself as part of my journey of becoming a mix engineer, because it's critical. And more than anything, because I don't want to spend another 30 hours working on another mix. What I do know is that mixing records ain't as easy as they make it look on TV. And for those of you who are out there doing your deal in your home studios and you're pumping out quality music and you're tracking all of it at your house, most of it you're doing all by yourself, dude, props to y'all. Mad love, because it's not easy. Wow, what's that? Look at that sweat pit. Damn! Oh, that's actually just stained. It's not sweat, that's stain. It's not a big deal. It's just aluminum deodorant. You know, Mitchum, appreciate y'all. Just crushing it on my t-shirts. Yeah, now's not the time. I hope that you guys enjoy this song. If you dig it, please leave me a comment. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. And I would love a like. Is that too much to ask? If you like the song, if you have any tips, any mix tips, if you hear anything that you're like, dude, I ran into that same thing. I used to do this with my mixes. Do this, it'll make your mix, it'll make the drums smash, it'll make whatever. I welcome any constructive feedback. Don't be a dick if you can help it, but like any constructive criticism that you guys have, bring it on. I'm here to get better. I'm here to share this journey with you guys. Without further ado, here's Now Is Not the Time. Cheers.
Waking up from the craziest dream, the darkness of night, I panic to breathe. Details are foggy, but the message is clear. We're all drowning in fear. When the walls come closing in, an anxious mind is a hell of a friend. Heart's pounding out of my chest, good luck going back to sleep. And now's not the time for giving up. It's no time for self-sabotage. Now's not the time for giving in. Sometimes you gotta start all over again. Frustrated, been waiting from myself. Some days are better than others, on top of the world in brilliant focus. But sometimes my tank runs empty. It's dead on E and it's so tempting. But now's not the time for giving up. Now's not the time for sabotage. Now's not the time for giving in. Sometimes you gotta start all over again. Oh, now's not the time for giving up. Now's not the time for calling bluffs. Now's not the time for giving in. You gotta start all over again now. Oh, don't let it rot your mind. Anxiety will rob you blind. It'll take all your love, take all your hope, all that you need, what you're here for. Where you gonna go when the black cloud comes back around? And now's not the time for giving up. It's not the time for calling bluffs. So now's not the time for giving in. Now's not the time for giving up. Now's not the time for sabotage. Now's not the time for giving in. Sometimes you start all over again. Oh, now's not the time for giving up. Now's not the time for calling bluffs. So now's not the time for giving in. Sometimes you start all over again. No, na 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 na. Oh, whoa. Na 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 na. Oh, whoa. Na 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 na. Oh, whoa. Na 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 na. Oh, whoa.
All right, well, that is the tune, and that is the conclusion of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the tune. Once again, if you liked it, drop me a comment and let me know what you thought. And we will be talking to y'all soon. Y'all be good to each other. Cheers.